This is a little bit of a different video. What makes a knife special? It's really what I want to talk about for a minute or two today. So it's not just... So I did a video recently about what makes a knife next level. What is a next level knife? And we talked about some of those. And the comments were great. So give me your comments in this video about what makes it special. Now, special is a very subjective term, very broad. It doesn't mean expensive. It can be expensive, or it doesn't have to be expensive. So like this knife here is pretty generic looking, made in China, whatever. But I am going to say this is a very special knife to me because of how I acquired this and how it came to be. So a very good friend of mine, Rob, sent me a message one day and said, "Hey, I picked up another Red Horse knife and it's coming to you." And he's the guy I bought the Red Horse Knife Works Hellraisers from. Almost all of my custom Hellraisers, this one and this one and this one, all came from that friend. So when he said he had a new Red Horse knife coming in, I was super excited to see what he had bought. Well, he got me. This is what he bought. It's a Red Horse on a knife. He got me so good that when I did the unboxing, I didn't know who had sent this. It totally went over my head that there's a Red Horse on this, even though he told me it was coming and the day it was coming. Since then, and I talked to him and we laughed about it going over my head and whatnot, he said, "I want you to keep it. This, literally, this was a gift." And I've gotten some other inexpensive knife gifts before, and those are really the ones that are special to me because the meaning behind it. So really, it's the meaning behind a knife. And I've got some examples here. Now, some are on the higher end, like the Frank Fisher King Battle. When I first saw this knife maybe 8 or 10 years ago on Jim Skelton's channel, I think this might have been the first battle that I saw. I don't remember the timing. And I fell in love with the model. And I knew at one point I would get a battle. And this was my Grail knife. Not this particular model. My Grail was just a battle. This was not even my first one. This is my most recent one, and I've got multiples now. But this particular one is special because of the person who owned it before me, Tristan. And Abe owned it before him, and Jim Skelton filmed it. So it's kind of special because of the lineage. Okay? One of the first gifts I ever got after starting my YouTube channel was the Z Hunter. I don't remember exactly the name of the person that sent this to me, but it kind of marked a little bit of an accomplishment in having become something on YouTube, I guess. Nick Shabazz had one of these gifted to him too. And so it kind of set the stage of, hey, if you get one of these, maybe you've made it. I don't even know if that's still a thing anymore, because I know there's a lot of people with huge channels that probably don't have a Z Hunter. But I hold it kind of special to me because of that meaning. Very much like the Daleka from Keith. I'm part of the Daleka Club. And this is cheap, nothing knife. But it comes with a certificate of authenticity that he creates, kind of a whole certificate welcoming you to the Daleka Club. And there's some fun around this knife. That's like a $3 knife. Again, it's not the price. It's the meaning behind it, right? So yes, this is special. Another one of my special, and I have a lot of special knives, but is formerly Jim Skelton's Big Red. This is truly one of the honors. It's got some dust and stuff on there because it's been in the safe. This is one of the knives that's just an honor to own because it's one of only 3 ever made and because Jim Skelton owned it. I own a lot of Jim Skelton's hand-me-downs. He owned this Hellraiser before also. So I love Jim's hand-me-downs. He got me to where I am in the knife collecting world, I think. And so I owe some to him, and I love owning knives that he used to own. So what makes a knife special to you? There's always meaning behind it. I don't think it's just the value. Here's another Beg knife, Todd Begg, Bodega, with the, God, I'm drawing a blank, Dragon Lady engraving. I was drawing a blank on the actual engraving they called this. This one's cool, and I loved this one. This might have been my very first Bodega, actually. And then after years and years of talking to Mark Begg, after Todd and Mark had some issues, I got him to make me a one-of-one Dragon Lady Bugatti, which turns out to be the only black-coated Bugatti they ever made. So that's special because it's a one-of-one. It's marked one-of-one on the inside. And I went through some agony to get it made. So I think there's a lot of meaning behind knives, not just their monetary value. I mean, that's one thing for sure. And that makes this special just because of its cost at some level. But does it make this any less special? You tell me your thoughts. I think the meaning behind a knife makes it more special and more meaningful. Does that mean I'm going to start to carry this every day? And I'm going to do a year carry of this when I'm done with the year carry of that? Probably not. But just because I don't carry a knife doesn't mean it's any less special to me. Again, very subjective. I was doing a company team event where we were out of town for a week doing like an amazing race type of event. And a buddy, the guy I had hired into my industry back in the 90s, who I then went to work for at his company in the mid 2010s, he bought me this when we were out on that trip. Yeah, it's a nothing. You know, it's $10 at the gift shop at Bryce Canyon or whatever. Because God forbid you ever find my name on anything, because it ain't going to happen. Those of you that know, you know. There ain't nothing with Dirk on it. Not one thing. I ain't never found anything. If you find something, buy it, send it to me, because I ain't never seen it. So he found this as an alternative and gave it to me. And that meant a lot to me. It's a cheesy thing, but again, it's the thought that counts, not just the item. I don't know. It was just something that kind of was in my mind to talk about because of this guy. I'm not going to do a full video on it. I think you guys understand what it is. It's a China-made gas station knife. And I'm okay with that. Because for Rob to have gone out of his way, spent $20, $30, $40 on this, and ship it to me as a joke, and the fact that it didn't register in my mind when I unboxed it just means the world to me. And this, I never want to say that I have keeper knives forever and ever and ever. But, you know, these really special ones, yes, I have thought about selling some before. But they're kind of special. And this one's going to hang around for a while. One, because I don't think anybody's going to really want to buy it. So I'm not looking to flip it. But this is always going to remind me of my friend Rob. And that means a lot to me. So let me know down below, please, what makes a knife special to you? And do you have some special knives because of the story, not because of the price?